YouTube. This is all about me. Yeah, that's right. Can you hear me? Let's see if we got this thing working out right here. All right, let's see if we are live streaming. Okay, stream is offline. I can't tell if I'm live or not. Okay, I am live apparently. My stream status is good, health is good, but everything has changed, so I really can't see what I'm doing in the window here. Let's see here. Sync to preview player. I can't tell if I'm here or if I'm really live or not. Let's see here. Still, they've changed some things here, so if you can hear me, just bear with me while I try to figure this out here. I have to re-log into. It says I have 5 viewers on the software. I wish YouTube would be able to do it itself. Let's see here. One of these days I'll get it down. This is why I don't announce these things too far in advance, because setting things up. I set up a new stream, and when it did it, okay, here we go. It just doesn't have a window here. Let's see. Okay. But I can't see what people are saying, and that's the key. I need to be able to see what you are saying, if you're saying anything, if anybody's even watching. Let's see here. Okay. Open live chat, new window. Okay, here we go. All right. I'm not going to stop believing. Okay, now I see all your comments. I'm 4-9's fine. Thank you, Brian the Log. I'm live by Z. William. Hello, MeTube. I mean, YouTube. Did y'all hear that when I first said hello, MeTube earlier? Hello, Steve. Yes, it's cool. It's cool because you're here and everyone's here. I'm going to. Jose Uresti wants me to tell a story. Well, I would like to tell you about a story about a man named Jed. He was a mountaineer that was not very wealthy. He was pretty poor. He barely kept his family fed. Then one day, he was hunting for some food, and then up from the ground came this bubbling crude. Oil, really, that is. Texas tea, black gold. And you know the story from there. Just for the record, let it be known that Cha-Cha Cow was first to comment on this thing. All right, well, moving ahead here. This is kind of an impromptu thing. I'll try to schedule these more often and maybe announce them more often, but I'm kind of keeping them sort of impromptu for now in case of little hiccups like earlier. And last time I had to try to figure it out and really couldn't see what I was doing, couldn't hear, and that type of thing. But moving ahead here, we'll start with the first question by Brian the Log, who posed it as a statement because there's no question mark. Brian, put a question mark there and then I'll answer it. He must not be listening now. But anyways, what do you think about the 999 US Mint Silver? I think it's actually a pretty good idea. The reason why, there's 4 question marks. The reason why they did the 90% before is because it was essentially law. And so they kept with the collector coins, they kept the composition the same because it really was mandated from Congress after all these years. And I do like the 90%. It gives the silver a little bit more of a strong, it makes it stronger, but also gives it a slightly reddish, very, 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 very slight reddish appearance to the silver. And so that's pretty cool. But I do think that people, once they see the 3/9 fine silver products with quarters and the like, I think they'll be pleased with it. Although for those of us, especially for Brian the Log, who's collecting, I think the silver quarters, it's gonna break away from that continuity of a set because they'll look just slightly different. Derek 1300 asks, "Do I think silver will keep falling?" Yes, from what I've read and seen on some videos and like, it does appear that it will either stay the same or keep falling. My prediction is that it would bottom out at $14.50 an ounce, and has broken through that now. It touched into the 13s today. I placed a very small order when silver dipped, but it was for some coins that have a much higher premium, so I really didn't save much money. In fact, from the previous order, I only saved like $1. Nazi Gold Train. Yes, the Nazi Gold Train. I haven't really read a whole lot about that, but I want to. It sounds interesting, and it does sound like an 80s metal band. Ralph Ledesma asks, "What's a better investment, bullets or silver?" Well, honestly, it's hard to tell. I think with all the shootings going on, and with the bullets becoming more rare last time with the Social Security administration buying so many of them, bullets may be a better investment. Brian the Log predicts silver to $9 and gold to $800. I've been talking so much I forgot to eat this very nice cookie, so I'm going to eat that now while you all ask some more questions. Yes, you need the bullets to keep the silver, that's for sure. And the guns, too. See, people don't realize that it's not the guns that kill people, bullets do. Corey asks, "What do people buy with the low prices, rounds or semi-numismatics?" Well, first of all, there's really no such thing as a semi-numismatic. Either a coin is numismatic or not. And in my view, when the prices are low, it is, if you're looking at silver and looking to protect yourself, you're always better off buying a better bullion or a numismatic piece like the kookaburras or the lunars and that type of thing. Those do tend to protect yourself, protect you when the prices fall. However, I've noticed at the last coin show I went to, talking to some folks that are into the older numismatics, and they say prices are dropping all around, everywhere. I am drinking coffee. It is a Keebler fudge stripe, mini fudge stripe, 100 calories, and they are very yummy and delicious. And I'm gonna send one to you psychically through the internet here. Did you get it? Cha Cha Cow says coffee is awesome. Thanks, Cha Cha Cow. I agree. I think so too. Derek 1300 asks if I consider myself a prepper, someone who likes to have things just in case. I'm more of the latter. There's a YouTube channel called Part Time Preppers. Well, I'm probably a 10th time prepper, in that I have probably enough food to last me a week, couple weeks, but it's just extra food. It's not anything that has a long shelf life. Don't really have water storage, and that's really the hardest part. There was an old YouTuber who doesn't come on much anymore named Heavenly Prepper who actually bought a water storage containment system. Very fascinating and a very smart idea. And water is very crucial because if there ever comes a time where society breaks down completely, one of the first things to go are the utilities, the sewer and sewer and water. You won't be able to use those anymore, so you have to find ways to ingest water and get water, and do away with waste. People don't think about what to do with the waste. The Curdy Cake says, "Ask, have you ever showed my face on video?" Yes, but not as SalivateMetal. What am I buying? Well, I just bought a couple more of these. The turtles, the Hawksbill turtles. I just like them for no other reason than I like them, and the silver's cheaper, and so I picked a couple more of them up. And I have a couple of other pieces that I've bought some months ago that I've yet to post on YouTube, but I will. Stay tuned. Jose Uresti asked if Crabtree Mint rare. Uh, I don't know if that's a brand of tea or what that is, so I'll have to not comment on it, even though I just did. Steve asked how many ounces of silver I own. I don't know for sure. It's over 1,000, but it's probably under 2,000 is my guess. So somewhere between there. I really don't count the things um, for a couple reasons. I started so long ago and have it stored in so many different forms and places that it's hard to count. Greg Hiscott has commented that he can hear me, and that's great. I'm glad. Alexis asks, how's it going? The solar energy panel is going great. Part of the reason why I was late coming on after I made my little video is I was trying to sync up the monitoring system. I'm going to continue to do those videos that tell the story of the panels being installed. So stay tuned; they are coming. Um, and there's a lot of videos coming yet that I need to post, but I've not forgotten about them. And one video, by the way, that I will hope to post before the end of the year is, you may not think so, but to me it's going to be the most uh, exciting video that I've ever done. And it will be coming probably before the end of the year for several reasons, but it's the epitome of my stacking slash silver slash coin slash everything. Stay tuned for it. I think you'll know why once you see it, but it tells a story. Curdy Cakes, thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend. The octopus silver coin. That's a new one. I've not heard of that one before. Love to see it. Yes, the background is an iPad cover. Makes for a good backdrop. Yes, I do. Todd Mitch asked if I like the new Panda. Yes, I think it's a nice design. I don't have one yet. Hey, I'd like to actually get I'd like to get that coin, the 30 gram piece, and a 2014 1 ounce piece. And with the 2015, that would make a nice little set because you have the last of the marked 1 ounce silver pandas, and then the last of the 1 ounce silver pandas unmarked for 2015, and the first of the 30 gram pandas. Tobias99ZX, thank you. Good question that hasn't been asked yet. He wants to know of where silver price will bottom. Well, as I mentioned earlier, I thought it was at $14.50. So I'll make a new prediction here. Brian the Log said $9. I think it'll be $12. But that's just a guess, and we'll see what happens. Ikeo Net One asked, "Do you play the gold silver ratio?" No, I play the guitar, but thanks for asking. Jimmy Fitz asked if I have the RCM 10-ounce silver bars. Yes, I do. I only have one, and it is a beautiful bar. I'd like to get more of them. I do wish they were smaller like the Geiger bars, but they are beautiful. And I also wish they were packaged a little differently. The plastic is almost too loose around them. Donald asked, when are you going to shoot or destroy another fake silver coin? Well, I don't know. I kind of leave that up to CCT. I just took special advantage that one time since I had access to a 50 caliber Smith & Wesson. Couldn't let that one pass up, and knowing that CCT wouldn't be able to produce such a video there in the UK with strict gun laws. By the way, this is a counseling session, but the patient hasn't showed up yet. FT Ideas was supposed to come in here, and I was supposed to counsel him. Where is he? Derek 1300 asked if the U.S. Mint said how many Silver Eagles they were released in 2016. You know, I don't know that they have a set limit when they start these things. They produce them mainly to demand, from what I understand. There's no set limit. I could be wrong, but Alex Rodriguez asked how long I've been collecting. Well, probably since I was a kid, 12, 13 years old, in some manner or form. Not nearly to the level that I was later in life, but for quite a while. Tobias has bought a bunch of the 2015 pandas and the 16 pandas. He sees them as a good numismatic play for the future, and he's probably right. The older pandas especially do well as time goes on. IkeoNet asked if I consider myself a bulk buyer or coin collector. Definitely more of a coin collector with a little bit of stacking on the side. I literally just buy what I like. That you don't see me going after tubes of lunars or kooks or anything like that. I'll get a couple here and there. Part-time Preppers is here to turn the tables. If I have a question for us, feel free to ask. Well, PTP, I would, but it would be kind of tough to do on this video unless I could, I guess I could read the answer back if you say it. But let's see here. How is, you're kind of putting me on the spot here, but you have to let me know if the main ingredients, part-time preppers, if you haven't had a chance to see his video, he has tried a concoction with him and the hand model to get rid of milk spots with milk, Pepsi, let's see here, and lemon juice. Lemon juice, they think, is the active ingredient, so we're going to find out in about a week where those are at. So how's it looking so far, part-time preppers? You've done it, for, I guess, for a day now? Hello, Karis Ravenhill. Good to see you. Or see your avatar. Silver Patriot asks, where, in your opinion, is the top 3 places to invest cash these days? That's a good question. Some are predicting that the dollar will get stronger in 2016. So it may just be under the couch, or maybe in the bank if the interest rates go up, and they probably won't be by much, but you never know. But it could, for me, where my money's going is probably more precious metals. Again, mainly because I'm a collector, and but also because I believe that in the long term they're gonna perform well. My coffee's getting cold here. I'm gonna take another drink. Derek says, do you think the stock market will be as volatile in 2016 as it has been recently? Yes, I do. And honestly, not knowing a whole lot about the stock market, but I imagine we've seen it do some volatile actions over the course of its history. But this is certainly a unique time, and it keeps going up and up and up. And eventually we're going to see a hard crash. And by hard crash, I mean, 300 and 400 points in the Dow loss. And, we'll see what happens, but I think we will see something like that. It may be in 2016. It may be later. But we shall see. Greg asked, why are you showing us the bear coin? Precisely so that I can get someone to ask why I'm showing the bear coin. All right. Here, that better? Guam. All right. Hello, Absolute Fluence. And part-time preppers didn't hear my question, I guess. I was just asking how it's looking in the first day, but that liquid is probably pretty thick. Probably tough to see the coin in it. I guess Todd Mitch thinks the stock market's going to crash next year. A bloody one at that. Stone Stackers ask a, a great question. How many decades will it be for newbies to recover their investment losses on bullion and mint sets that the pumpers talked them into buying over the last 5 years? Well, especially in 2011, it may take a while, but in my opinion, prices are artificially low right now, and it could be a matter of months or maybe a year or two before they bounce back. But it's anybody's guess. But I believe that many things are artificially high, and deflation, it may be starting to kick in here, especially with the oil prices and many commodities down, and also numismatics, as I mentioned earlier as well. Some of the collector markets out there are suffering a bit with this as well. So it's hard to tell, and it's anybody's guess. You're predicting the future there, but in my opinion, holding the precious metals is a protection, um, and it's only worth less if you sell it. So, or actually, there's one exception to that rule, and that's part of the video that I mentioned earlier for everyone to stay tuned to when I post it, or probably before the end of this year. Eating some more while we're waiting for other questions here, trying to get them all. My coffee is definitely caffeinated. Thank you, John. Yes, counseling, Alex. I was supposed to set up this session especially if anyone has any emotional or heartache or any problems. I'm here. I'm a certified numismatist. That means I can counsel anyone for any problem at any time, at any place. See, I've already had an influence. I've psychologically made Derek 1300 put on a pot of coffee. And he just put on an Americano roast. Stone Stacker asks if I believe in the term semi-numismatic. No, I do not. Karis Ravenhill has a morning problem. Well, it's evening here, so catch up with me tomorrow around 8 or 9 in the morning, and we'll talk. Part-time preppers ask what year I started collecting. He started back in '76. Well, mine was probably the mid to late '80s. Karis is going through Zombuck withdrawal. I can help you with that problem. Uh, buy zombie bullets. No, I don't know. Yeah, it's some people are suggesting and anticipating that perhaps uh, Provident, on the success of the Zombucks, may do a worldwide bullion series, like a something off of the Maple Leaf or the Philharmonic of some sort. We'll see. Derek 13 asks, where do I live? The answer is 7. Rocky 315W asks, where is the couch? It's in the other room. Hello, Rocky. Donald suggested a way to contact everyone to let them know about the chats coming, or the broadcast, and I could, but well, the Google Plus, I don't have as many followers on there, or I don't have a way to contact as many. The best way is probably just to do a video like I did earlier, but I'm kind of waiting until I have it down a little bit more before I do so. Stone Stacker mentions David Gantz, the ex-ANA president's collecting books about the term semi-numismatic. And yeah, it's a certainly a term people use, but have you ever heard the term semi-pregnant? It's about the same type of thing. Just because people use it, people also use the word co-conspirator, but doesn't make it a reality. Silver Patriot asks if all the variety of modern coinage will head down the path of baseball cards. No, baseball cards are made of cardboard, hence the name cards. Um, there is obviously an oversaturation, in my view, of the amount of designs that are coming out from the modern mints, but the precious metals in them, and I do think there will be some premium for the majority of them, although it may not be what it was when they were first launched. You know, there's a lot of hype out there, and a lot of that hype tends to bubble up at the beginning and then drain away. But I don't think you'll lose too much. But I do think the oversaturation will hurt the market, but not like the baseball cards. You'll never see that with coins. Rocky, he's concerned with the chats. Yeah, I haven't seen many of the chats lately. I'm gonna have to stop this one soon so I don't conflict with FT ideas. Although his won't start for another couple hours here. But early Collier asked what the kitties up to. The kitties are in the other room, and they are wandering around and a bit anxious. I can't really get them. Stone Stacker makes a comparison from semi-numismatic to semi-gemstones. I don't know much about gemstones, but there is a semi-precious metals, such as copper, and some people say silver is that. There is some gray area. See, semi talks about like a gray area. Numismatic, as a definition, is that which is a value above the spot price of the metal itself. So, if you have an eagle, most eagles have a premium to them. If when they're sold, they hold that premium, they're numismatic. A generic bullion around is essentially when you sell it and trade it, it's essentially just bullion. It's not numismatic. It's not semi-numismatic. A semi-precious gemstone are those gemstones that are moderately valued, I would guess. So they can certainly be semi-precious or semi-pregnant. Red Rum 18 Silver says that he misses Rocky. Derek 1300 brings up another term that I don't like, junk silver. Yes, I do recommend constitutional silver, or the new term that I'm going to probably do a video on, which is more global, spending silver. Yes, like what you see here. Take it and collect it, and it's a good way to stack. Let's see here. Okay. Let me look up and see if I missed anybody. Oh, hello, Belange P. Good to see you. Looks like I've missed some here. Bobby, 1955, asked if I bought the 2015 Proof Platinum Eagle. No, I did not. Uh, I decided not to because of the price. I just couldn't afford it. Obviously, it would have been a good numismatic play. Looks like another viewer here. The massive men lead bought it. and did a video on it. I'll have to check it out. That's pretty cool. Glad he got one. And let's see here. What do you consider? Belange P asks, what do you consider the best value now? 90% silver, bar silver, or sovereign coins? Now, sovereigns, you mean gold sovereigns? Um, I don't know. Probably the best value would probably be 90%. I would guess, because there's no, it's already been produced and it's being traded back and forth, and most LCSs are selling it for pretty cheap, at least from what I'm seeing now. But that's just in my world. I don't know what it's like in other people's hometowns. And he meant coins minted by sovereign governments. Okay, yeah. It's like sovereign bullion, like the Philharmonics and that type of thing. The premiums on those things uh, are catching down with the spot price now. It seems like a little bit more, but still has a way to go. It's kind of hard to say. I haven't really compared. I really haven't been doing a whole lot of buying of the 90%. I've just noticed that some of the premiums, the actual, you're seeing Atmex and these other companies starting to do the sales again, 75%, 75 cents over spot for their generic. And so, as far as the value above spot price, that might be the best way to go, depending. Take care, Alex. Thanks for stopping by. Part-time preppers ask if I know when the Mint will come out with their 100th anniversary gold Walking Liberty, Mercury Dime, and Standing Liberty. I don't know yet. It's not been announced. And Jose Resta says, no one's answered my question. What's your question? I'll try to answer it. I must have missed it above. While he's asking that, Derek asked, do I care for Donald Trump? Well, I don't know him personally, but I care enough for him that I don't want him to die, and I don't want him to lose his hair. And I would like for him to be an actual conservative. That would be nice. Belange P just said to give everyone a heads up, it appears that the XAU and HUI are the lows that marked the beginning of the metals bull of the 2000s. Interesting. I guess those are stock indicators. Rainbird piggies back on the other question about the all the different variety, the oversaturation of the market with plenty of designs for the private mints and the sovereign mints, as Belange P referred to them before. And I do think that prices will suffer. You'll see a lot of these things will be forgotten in coming years as we're being oversaturated. But I do think that the majority of them will still hold some premium, but it may be very low. Um, for as long as there's some demand for them, I think you'll see them out there, and people will pay a little bit more for them because it's unique and different. But I do agree that I think that it will suffer in the long run, depending on what it is. Some series will survive others. If you're buying these for numismatic purchases or as a quote an investment, because numismatics is an investment if you're in it for that reason, then it is a gamble. Hello, YouTube Unwrapped, who used to be Coins Unwrapped. Silver Sirens here. To the moon and the stars, or to the moon and I think that's a star. Derek 1300, I'm with you. I agree. As long as Hillary and Bernie isn't president, we're fine. Yep. Silver Hustling 13's in the house. He's in his house, not my house. Somewhere in Peru, I think. Hello, King Coin. Belange Pete makes a good point. The significance is that we're at a point where the investment community do not believe the mines can make a profit at these prices. It signifies that the metals are cheap. I agree. I think we're getting, if we're not at the bottom, we're getting very close to it. That's a baby up there, a Silver Siren says. To the moon, baby. Mr. Mrs. Keecher asks, when will and what major nation will start using gold and silver in their coinage? Well, it's already happened. If you call the Islamic State a nation, I think they've already started minting coins in gold and silver. But the United Nations doesn't recognize them as such and shouldn't. But as far as any other really sovereign nation recognized by the UN, that's a very good question, and I think this can be a long ways before we see something like that. Charlie Porter asks if it's better to buy gold British sovereigns or American gold eagles. I hear that British sovereigns can be had for pretty close to spot these days. Um, and But overall, I think it's pretty much personal preference. The older sovereigns, I think, have some more of a numismatic um, nature to them, so you may want to consider. I know some people here on YouTube collect them. Take care, part-time preppers. Thank you for joining. King Coin asked, "What is the lecture this evening?" Well, earlier somebody asked me to tell a story, and I did so. I began my story about a man named Jed, who at one time could barely keep his family fed. I just hadn't gotten to the point where he struck oil and got rich and moved to Beverly Hills. But maybe we'll say that for next time. Oh, Jose was asking if the Crabtree Mint bars are rare. I've never heard of Crabtree Mint. I thought I answered that question earlier, but if anyone knows, maybe they'll type it in the comments here, and I'll read it off. 2016 Kooks. Any thoughts? Or Cooks. It's technically Kookaburra. I keep on saying Kookaburra, but the correct Australian pronunciation is Kookaburra. Tobias 99ZX asked, and I like them. I think they're pretty cool. There one is. And yeah, it's the first bullion kangaroo silver. 4.9's fine. I mean, I don't know how well they'll do numismatically, but we'll see what the mintage numbers are, how popular they are. Paleo Prepper asked if I follow the silver oil ratio. Most people look at the gold to oil ratio, but with the silver to gold ratio being off so much, it's kind of tough to really make that connection with oil. You're better off using gold as your as that. But typically, when the energy prices are low, the precious metals are low as well. It just so happens that all the commodities are low now. Belange P asked what I drink on Friday nights. Well, I got some coffee here. It's cold at the moment, but no liqueur or anything like that at this point. And I will be listening to some heavy metal for sure. Yeah, no RC Cola, the Silver Hustlin' 13. Don't want to get jacked up on sugar and the like. Oh, hi ho, Silver's here. Sorry I missed your question. How old does something need to be called vintage? Well, as somebody else answered, it says it's in the eye of the beholder. Same thing with like classic rock. Now Poison and Whitesnake are considered classic rock when I don't know. So it's hard to tell, but I think that anything vintage is certainly it's a very subjective term. Uh, but vintage bars and rounds, how old to qualify? I would say probably anything probably made before 1990, maybe at this point in history. But it's maybe next decade, anything made before the year 2000, it might be considered vintage. I think those shift. But there was a lot made in the 70s and 80s, and some even as early in the 60s. I've got a silver 1 ounce bar called the Plumbers, and it's essentially the 9 people who broke into the Watergate Hotel and plant the bugs. I'll have to find that. That's kind of a unique piece. Well, everyone, it's been great fun. I think I'm going to probably wrap this up. Hello, PD. PD Ballerina's here. I mean, part of the reason why I like to keep it going because in case other people pop in, I like to try to answer some questions or just converse with you a little bit here, even though you're not talking back to me, really. I'm just acknowledging the chats here. But it's very great to see you all, and certainly appreciate everyone stopping by. Stay tuned again, and while I don't know how many, this thing doesn't tell me how many viewers I have, but spread the word. Well, I'm going to be doing this important video, not important, but just probably one of the most ones, a video that I've looked forward to doing since 2013. I'll put it to you this way, and I will do it probably before the month is out, and you'll see why when I post it. But stay tuned for that one. I don't even know what I'm going to title it yet, but we shall see. But thank you again for watching. Thank you, Brad. It says 40 people are watching. And I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to everyone for tuning in here. Stay tuned. There'll be more of these to come. And so, a multitude of gratitude. Take care.